Welcome back to Neuroconvergent Leadership, where we talk about effective communication in the STEM workplace and/or with people who are neurodivergent or just neuro different than you are. I'm Jeremy Doran. I help great engineers become great leaders. Have you ever thought, boy, wouldn't life be so much easier if I didn't have to deal with those people? Ew, those people. Usually those people means people who are very different than you in one way or another. Probably the way they think, maybe the way they communicate. And it feels like they are making things difficult, sometimes on purpose. They question things that you already, quote unquote, know, or they just seem like they're disagreeing in order to be difficult. But I can tell you, sure, there are some people who go out of their way to be difficult, but most of us are just doing our best. We're trying to help make things better. The way we go about it just might be different than the way you do. And that's both a blessing and a curse. Different points of view are crucial. They are what help expand our universe. They're the way we generate new ideas, how we can refine them by going back and forth and talking about them, making them the best that they can be. It's that diversity that makes our work and our lives so much richer as long as we let it. Sometimes when I'm going to networking events, people will ask me what I do, and I'll jokingly say, I help engineers talk to humans. And what happens every time is people laugh, and then they start telling me a story about some engineer they know who's challenging to deal with. One person once told me that he and the other people in the marketing department once in a while would have to talk to the engineers, and they would draw straws because they just didn't want to do it. Now, how terrible is that? It's an incredible resource right there with all sorts of different ideas and thoughts than what the group of marketing people had, but they did everything they could to avoid actually going and being exposed to those differences. In politics, there's a phrase called reaching across the aisle. It's when all the best solutions come out. But it usually only happens out of necessity in politics. They try their best to spend all their time with people on their own side of the aisle who have the same points of view, same thoughts, believe as they do. But when something crucial has to happen, it normally requires reaching across the aisle and having people with two different sets of ideas work together, coming up with the best solution. It's rare, but it's wonderful when it happens. And I don't know about you, but most people I know would not want to be compared to politicians, especially the ones who won't reach across the aisle. So in the workplace, make sure that you do. If you're having a brainstorming session, trying to solve a problem, make sure to invite people from other departments. That's probably the easiest time to integrate other people who think and communicate differently than you, because you have a fresh canvas, a blank slate, and you're trying proactively to come up with new ideas, and different perspectives are appreciated. So that's the easiest time to really incorporate people who think and communicate differently than you do. Sometimes that means inviting people from other departments, and sometimes it just means inviting someone who may be a bit neurodivergent. And when I say reach across the aisle, I don't just mean invite them to the meeting. I mean, you really need to integrate and work with them and lean into trying to understand their point of view. It's really important to listen to the divergent people in a group and draw out their ideas and understand them. It can be frustrating, but it's important, and it's important because it's that very divergence that allows us to come up with the brilliant idea. If everybody in the room always thinks the same way, you're never going to come up with that pearl of an idea. It takes some friction to get there. So give them space, let them contribute, and really listen to what they say and incorporate what those neurodivergent people have to say. But they're not off the hook either. They don't get a free pass. It's no excuse to say, well, I'm neurodivergent, so communication's not my thing. You need to figure out how to do it. It's no excuse, so you can't disregard the importance of communicating your idea effectively, listening to feedback, and adjusting course to work with everybody in the group. When working with engineers, I often remind them it's not the best idea that wins, and they always push back. They don't like it. But in reality, it's the idea that's good enough that's presented the best. So it's not enough to just come up with a brilliant idea. You need to figure out how to express it, how to explain it, how to capture the imagination of the other people so that they will want to move forward with your idea, partly because it's the best one, but partly because you took the time to really share it with them and explain it. So everyone is responsible for integrating in both directions. No one gets to just rest on their strengths. Whether your strength is that you're really logical and detail-oriented, or your strength is that you have great emotional intelligence. Either way, it's your responsibility to reach across the aisle to people who think and communicate differently than you do, understand their point of view, and help them understand yours. I'm on vacation this week, so this is a short episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to hearing your thoughts on this, so please reach out to me on my website, neuroconvergentleadership.com, and drop me a message. You can either just drop me a note, or you can, while you're on there, book a 30-minute conversation with me by phone or Zoom so that we can go into more detail about whatever it is you want to talk about. Thanks again and have a great week.